All right, y'all, we back with another episode of Let's Talk About It with JMACK, episode 4. And this week, I'm going to switch it up a little bit because at first, I felt like the first 2 episodes, it was kind of like based on something similar, most of the topics. But this time around, we got some pretty interesting, rather funny topics today. Still relationships and stuff like that, but, a little bit different this time around. I don't want to keep focused on the same thing every single episode. So this one is pretty interesting, like it usually is. And I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment below if you can relate to any of these situations or maybe went through something similar. All right, y'all. So now for our first topic of the day, we got, my husband likes to wear women's clothes and do housework. What do I need to do? First of all, pause. That's definitely kind of odd. I mean, I would say weird, but everybody gets offended and fucking butthurt nowadays if you say the wrong thing. But I don't know. If a man is wearing women's clothes, whether he's playing around or not, I feel like, especially like, why would you want to wear women's clothes and do housework? Like, why would you want to even wear women's clothes, period? I mean, if you're not in a movie and doing like some crazy ass acting or some shit and you're getting paid for it, I don't know. That like a hobby just to wear women's clothes. I believe they call it cross-dressing. There might be some form of pateria going on, just to break it down to you. But you know how los blanquitos son. They always in denial. They think it's okay. They think everybody's different. But I don't know. To me, if you like trying to wear women's clothes and heels and shit like that, there's some pateria going on inside of you. Maybe you need to figure out what it is that you really like. So basically somebody said, you need to go ahead and make sure that he has everything he needs to look feminine and tell him that it's okay with him getting dressed up. And you remember that it will make your life easier. We'll be there for you forever because you helped him. And it was fun to spend time together with you while cross-dressing. I don't know, man. That's very odd. Somebody said, let's look at the comments right now and see what people said. Somebody said, the first thing that you need to do is decide whether or not this is something that you can deal with. I say this as respectfully as possible. You may not be able to handle living with a feminized husband. If you think this is something that you can deal with, speak with them about the subject. Be open and honest. Try to respect and learn what motivates him to dress like a woman. These folks out here that encourage you to share clothing and spend time together are mostly wishful thinkers. I can assure you that you need to be 100% okay with this. When I started this with my first wife, she was quite shocked in the beginning. After a couple months, we seriously talked about my desire to dress. Surprisingly, she became accepting of my dressing. For the first couple years, she would even purchase clothing for me. Yo. Occasionally, she would pick out an outfit and dress me. I have to admit, at times, it was a very erotic thing. We spent quite a lot of intimate time together while dressed. Sometimes during the third year, she became uninterested in participating and became angry with me when I would dress. Of course, because she's like, bro, I need a fucking man, not no fucking un tipo que quieres una mujer. What the fuck is that? By the 4th year, things were very tough. I felt a lot of resentment and anger coming from her. My relationship with her was more important than me dressing as a woman. One day, I took her by her hand and asked her to help me throw all of my women's clothing away. She seemed relieved at the time and happily participated in throwing them away. As months went by, she grew more distant. She filed with divorce shortly after, and she explained that my dressing as a woman changed her opinion of me. You see what I'm saying? Because at that point, Shorty's probably confused. Like, hold on. Is this dude straight? Is he on the pateria? Does he even like women like that? Something's not right. She said that she wanted a strong masculine type. Hello? A man con huevo, not a nigga that wants to dress like a bitch. Not someone who acted and dressed like a female. Thank you. Exactly what I said. My point in all of this is that you need to make sure that you're okay with this first. I urge you to strongly consider the short-term and long-term implications of being involved in a relationship like this. But how you handle this will definitely impact the long-term relationship you have with your husband. My point is, bro, honestly, shorty, you need to get you a man. A man que no te vistiéndose como una mujer. It's obvious he got some type of pateria going on. So, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I know if you're in love, it's hard to just let go like that. But you got to accept, si ya está con su pateria bullshit, that's kind of a red flag. So somebody put blatantly, no woman likes this at all. Somebody says, send them over here so I can have him do my housework. Hey, yo. Somebody said, I shouldn't get into gender politics, but does he have to do housework properly? Also, are his legs better than yours when wearing stockings? Does he scrub up? Hey, yo. And have an alter ego. You can keep the misogynist and leave women out of your twisted fetish fantasy. And then the last comment is, nope, that devil is a liar. Somebody got to be the man of the house, and it's not going to be me. This is my thoughts. And that was a woman saying that. So exactly, like you married a man, not a dude that wants to dress or act like a bitch. Point blank. If you've dealt with this situation or something similar, we would like to know how you feel about it. I personally, again, what I said, that to me is very odd. Once again, so I don't know if you could relate. We would like to hear your story, or you can, if you don't want to comment on the comment section below, you can send us an email at the JMACK at gmail.com. And by the way, rest in peace to Lisa Lefta Lopez. I got a nice shirt on today. You know, I haven't worn it at all, actually. It's a nice shirt. It says "Don't Call Chasing Waterfalls," which is one of his singles. And yeah, I thought I'd wear it today and represent. Our next topic now is another interesting one. If a wife does not give her husband any sex, is that enough of a reason for a divorce in the court of law, assuming he does everything that is required of as a husband and assuming he is not abusive? And then somebody put, laws are different in different places. When you ask a legal question, you need to specify your location. For example, in the U.S., you don't need a reason for a divorce. You just need to decide that you want to be divorced, and you can be, but it works differently in other countries. I'm gonna be honest. So the problem with this subject is, again, if you're not giving your husband any sex or vice versa, obviously they're gonna get it somewhere else. I don't care what you tell me. Unless, again, I always say, if the person has a medical condition or they're going through something at the moment, or they simply, they can't, for a medical reason. Not just, I'm going to lay here and I'm just not trying to give it the toto for fucking 8 months just because. Because obviously if you ain't, that means you're getting it somewhere else, or you're just not interested in that person no more. Like, how could you be married to someone for, a while, and then you guys were having sex, and then all of a sudden you don't want to have sex? That's another, like, that's kind of weird and a red flag once again. Something's not right. Either she's getting it elsewhere, or he's getting it elsewhere, or they're just simply not into you anymore, or you don't turn them on. So somebody put, I would have to ask myself the question, maybe it's not so much the way my wife has backed away from sexual activities. Maybe the lovemaking has changed. I mean, that's different. We're talking about not getting sex at all. So that's the whole thing. Somebody else put, I wouldn't mind getting sex while I change the oil or any other time, really, but the frequency of sex naturally depends on the marriage. Okay, so basically they're saying, maybe the situations. So they also said, so there are reasons for sex to become less important in a marriage, other than loss of interest. If the marriage is built on the right foundations, this shouldn't mean the end. If your marriage is based primarily on sex, you shouldn't expect it to last very long. Exactly what I said. Because, obviously, if you ain't getting it from your significant other, you're going to seek elsewhere and vice versa. Somebody else will put our last comment for this topic. This could even be something like discomfort. She is shy to say if something is making her feel less turned on or less comfortable for any reason. Romance is part of it, but early on in our marriage, I read something Dr. Spock had written. Don't underestimate the pleasure of thigh sex can give. Really? All right, I'll have to look that up. Okay. So if you are dealing with this at the moment or something similar, once again, we would like to hear your side of it, or what you've been through or what you're going through. And can you agree that not having sex with your significant other is a significant reason to file for a divorce? I personally think yes. Because again, if you're either not attracted or you're getting someone else, that means you're already doing you and you're not interested. So why stick with somebody that you don't even have an attraction with physically at all? And you're just pretty much roommates, unless you want a roommate and just keep it like that. But I don't know. Once again, you can comment on the section below, on the comment section, or you can email us at the JMACK at gmail.com. Now, last but not least, we always cover 3 subjects, and this one is pretty much, we always like to end with an addiction topic, and this one is any advice on loving a drug addict. So they said their story was 2 days ago, I held up a bag with remains of methamphetamine in it. It was scary. Not the drugs, but it was enough for everyone to stay awake for 6 days, pass out on the floor, and puke and feel like they were almost going to die. What scared me on that day was my girlfriend and other pals were opening up my shop door and found someone who used to work for me hiding in the corner, high as hell. After kicking him out and changing the locks, the 6 of us searched my shop. We found drugs, empty bags, crack pipes, and so on and so forth. And he actually has pictures. I might post these pictures of the stuff he found, which is really interesting. He definitely found some crack pipes. After processing the day's events, I felt a deep, dark sadness. Sadness and jealousy were the feelings, but they manifested as anger. Why would he be jealous, though? What, he want to be a crackhead, too? I don't get it. Let's see. Not at the person who spent the weekend breaking in and getting high in my shop. I love that person. I was just angry and sad because I let that part of my life go. I have no advice to offer on how to love a drug addict. I try to never offer advice. My girlfriend, on the other hand, offered me some advice on how to love a drug addict, and being with me for the past several years, she has experience. She told me to set boundaries, and if the boundaries are crossed, decide whether or not to distance myself from the relationship. My girlfriend explained that just because I can't have a relationship with someone doesn't mean that I have to stop loving them. Loving a drug addict isn't difficult, but being in a relationship with a drug addict is. That is very true. So like they always say, I can love you from afar, but like if you're indulging in things that I don't do, especially a drug addict, like you're not even going to trust them in your home. Let's be honest. You have something of value, you know and those people in that state of mind, they steal from their own mother. They don't care what it is. Whatever they got to do to get high, they'll sell fucking the kids they'll sell their kids clothes, sneakers, etc. just to go and get high, which is extremely sad. And this topic is not to laugh about And, we always end on a serious note. If you know anybody that's battling drug and alcohol addiction, feel free to call the hotline. I'm going to post it, and get them some help, because, there's only one or two ways that person may end up, or even if you're going through it, you're either going to go to jail or you're going to end up dead from an overdose, which is sad. So the reason why he was sad was because he was a drug addict, now that I'm understanding everything. And, he's seen somebody going through the same thing, you know what I mean? So, right here somebody said, I know that sensation and wanting to get high can be wrong, but it is extremely difficult to stop if you don't have the proper help. That's true. Once again, to kick a habit is not easy. Some people stop cold turkey, some people don't. But somebody also said, and we'll end with this note, whether it's a drug addict, an abuser, or a toxic relationship, sometimes we cannot be with those people. I've always said that you can love anyone you want to, but sometimes you have to do that at a distance. That's really, really true, and that's what we just said before. And on that note, once again, if you know somebody who's battling with drug and alcohol addiction, please feel free to call the hotline and seek help. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in once again. This has been another episode of Let's Talk About It with JMACK, episode 4. Make sure you like and subscribe, everybody, and let us know that you did so in the comments. I will be having somewhat of a prize giveaway soon. So for all my true supporters who've been rocking with me, let's get those subscribers up. I'm on my way right now to I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So please, I'm asking everyone, not begging, just asking, if you could please just hit that subscribe button if you like the content that we have been creating and putting out. Stay tuned for the JMACK, the Gordito and Chinito podcast, the JMACK podcast, and also the Gordito and Chinito Adventures blog. Thank you, everybody. We out here. Grah.